Justin.
Oh. I'm going to do a song by Audio Adrenaline. It's called the Houseplant song. It's about the so-called inherent evils of rock and roll and how us as Christians sometimes have a tendency to idolize our personal preferences and forget all about Jesus and have a battle of who has the best idol, and our music is noise and your music back and forth. Once I read a book, and this is what it said: if your music has a beat, then you're going to wind up dead. It doesn't really matter if it's Christian or not. If it's syncopated rhythm, then your soul is going to rot. And this book was called Ha! You're Gonna Burn. And in the second chapter, I went on to learn. Take two house plants and put them to the test. Set them both in front of speakers and let the music do the rest. The first one you play Mozart or something lovely like that. The second one you play that Petra or that Megadeth. Doesn't really matter what kind of rock it is. So I took my two house plants and I put them to the test. Set them both in front of speakers to let the music do the rest. I powered up my pioneers to let the music roar, and 20 minutes later, someone's knocking at my door. I opened up my door, and there my neighbor stood. He said, "Man, I'd like to get some sleep if you think I could." I said, "Man, can't you see I've got this moral dilemma that I've got to get clear?" And he said, "What kind of moral dilemma could you have at this time of night that could make me so angry that I just want to fight?" So I took him to that page in that open book that had a picture of a potted plant, and I said, "Go have a look." And he read, "Take two house plants and put them to the test. Set them both in front of speakers and let the music do the rest. The first one you play Mozart or something lovely like that. The second one you play that Petra or that Megadeth. Doesn't really matter what kind of rock it is." First of all, he said, "That's Wagner that you're playing. I've never heard of Petra, and isn't Megadeth all dead?" And secondly, emphatically, he asked me, "What's the sense of hanging out with houseplants when hey, I live right across the fence?" And I thought to myself, that's a good point. So I took my two houseplants, I put them both back outside, and me and my neighbor, well, we went out for a drive. We talked about all the things that really matter most, like life and love and happiness, and then the Holy Ghost. So now my two houseplants, they sit out in the sun, and as for my neighbor, well, our friendship has become a meaningful relationship that's headed straight to heaven. But as for now, we like to sit around and listen to Audio Adrenaline crank to 11.